What's good with the chat? It's C-Mac and I am back for another video. Today, we are going to be making a custom tapestry bucket hat. So if you guys followed up on my channel, I do a lot of, well, recently I've been doing a lot of tapestry hoodies. So today I do have some leftover custom tapestry fabric. I was like, what else? I did a tote, you know, the hoodies. Let's make a hat. That's the, you know, one thing that I haven't made that's kind of popular around. So thought I'd give it a shot. This would be my first time making a bucket hat. So let's see if we can do it. But you guys know C-Mac can do anything, put her mind to. So let's just get into it. First things first, I am going to need to measure my head. I had a big ass head. Let's see. I ain't making this for like really nobody like as a order, but I just thought I would, you know, kind of see if I could make bucket hat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, my head circumference is 23 inches long, or I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna have to divide that by 6.28 to get my radius of my head. So 23 divided by 6.28 is going to be 3.6. So now I have the radius of my head. So we are going to now just grab a piece of paper. We're going to fold it in half, hamburger style, hot dog, hamburger style, and then fold it one more time in half. Now we have the point where the paper is at. This point here, we're going to measure 3.6 with our tape measure. So 3.6. And then we're gonna mark it kind of going around the whole entire paper. I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna do that. Now that I got my marks on my paper, I'm just going to connect these dots. Now we do have to add some seam allowance to this, so I am going to measure out about 1/2 inch. From this line. And we're gonna fill this line out. Boom. So now what we are going to do, we are just going to take our scissors and cut this out. Now when we open this, we should have a full circle, and this is going to be our pattern for our top of the head or top of the bucket hat. Now we are going to make the third part of the head, which is the band, the part that actually goes around your head or under this top part. For this next part, I am going to have to tape 2 pieces of paper together just because I don't have a long paper. So if you already have long paper, you probably don't need to do this. But we are going to find the, we're going to do the middle part of the bucket hat. So what we're going to need to do is actually take our head circumference. Again, mine is 23. You're gonna divide that by 2, the half of your head circumference, which mine comes out to 11.5. And then what we are going to do is actually take this paper and take our ruler. We're gonna take our ruler and measure up 3 inches from the bottom of the paper all the way across. Now connect these lines. So now we're going to take our ruler again, and we are going to measure what we had for the half of our head circumference. Mine was 11.5. So I'm going to 11.5. Now we are going to connect these lines. Now we're going to cut this out. Now I am just gonna mark on here that we need to cut this out on fold once we start cutting our fabric out. Now I am just going to fold these in half twice. So in half and then in half. So then when I open this back up, we have 3 line creases that we just made, and we are end up going to cut this just until the tip, so it doesn't rip off, but enough that it can kind of spread out. We're gonna need 2 more pieces of paper. Again, long paper if you have it. Put your pattern onto paper, and we are going to need to tape this in place. Now we are going to measure in between each of kind of the slits that we just made, 2/8 of an inch. And if you guys look on mine, I can't really see on my number 1, so I am just going to use from 1 to 2 as 1 inch, and that is going to be this line here. So, and we are going to mark 2/8 in between each of them. Now we are going to measure 1/2 inch seam allowance for the whole entire side. You got your seam allowance, you're gonna go ahead and cut this out. So now that we got this cut out, we are going to need another 2 paper, or again, long paper if you have it, together. What we're going to do is actually fold this paper in half. So then we can place what we just made and cut this out, this template out. Remember, on the fold, so it's on the fold of the paper, and we are going to cut. And we should now have a full pattern, and this is going to be the whole headpiece. So if we actually take it, it should fit around our head. This piece, the circle, will fit like this. And then now we are going to make the 3rd piece that kind of like blocks the actual sun. So now we are going to work on the brim of the hats. So we are just going to take the pattern that we just made for, that was the body of the hat. Now we're just going to take this, and the measurements are going to be slightly different. So we are just going to take this, and we are going to measure the bottom of it with our tape measure. Grab some more paper, y'all. Once you guys got the measurements on the bottom of your original templates, you're just going to measure that out onto your paper. And you're also going to measure up 3 inches again. Now we are going to cut this out. Got that cut out. Now we are going to fold this 4 times. So boom, boom, and boom. Open it back up. We should have 7 lines now. Same thing like we did before. We are going to cut these lines, but not fully. Y'all done ran out of paper, so I am going to use these UPS labels that I have. Are going to need another sheet, and I am just going to tape these together. I'm actually going to fold this in half right off the bat, and then we are going to place what we just cut out on the fold, and this time we are going to measure out 1/2 inch for each space in between. Now that I got that all taped, I am gonna go around and go ahead and leave my seam allowance. Again, probably like 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna go around the entire design, and we're gonna cut that out. All right, yeah, now when we open that up, we should have something that looks like this, and this is going to be our brim. Now we should have our brim, our middle piece, and then our top piece of our hat. Now all we got to do is go over to our fabric, trace them onto the fabric and cut them out, and then I'll show you guys how to sew them together. So since I am using scrap pieces of the tapestry, I don't have full control of what's going to be on the hat, but I do have enough to make the hat, so that's good. I just placed my patterns down onto the fabric, and then I am going to cut these out. And then what we are going to do is actually make a lining for it as well. So after we cut out all of our pieces, we should have our tapestry circle, our liner, middle part, tapestry, liner, and then this is our brim, tapestry and liner. Now what we are going to do, we're going to start with the middle part and the brim, and we are going to sew them together. So this is our middle part of our hat. We're just going to put face to face and sew this together on this part, the liner, and we're going to do it on the same exact thing for the brim. After we sew those together, we now have kind of like a seam here. What I'm going to do is actually grab my iron and iron this down so it's kind of like a flat seam instead of something bulky. Do that both on this and this fabric. All right, y'all, we got the seams all pressed and flat. Now what we are going to do is attach the body part to the top of the head part by just placing this on top and sewing right sides together all the way around. All right, y'all, so now we got that attached. Now we should start looking like a hat. If we turn it inside, right side out, you can kind of see it coming together. So I did do the tapestry part and our liner part. Now we are gonna attach the brim to the upper part of the hat. The way we're gonna do this, we are gonna keep our upper part of our hat right side out. The brim is gonna be inside out, and we are gonna match up the seams. So you can see on the upper part, we have a seam here, and then our seam that's on our brim part, we are going to match up together, and then we are gonna sew all the way around. All right, y'all, so now we got our liner completed and the outside tapestry part completed. Super, super cute, but now we have to attach the liner with the actual hat. So what we're gonna do is actually turn the hat back inside out and make right sides facing each other. And we also wanna match up the seam to the seam that's on the tapestry as well. Now what we are going to do is sew the tip of the brim all the way around, leaving a little pocket unsewn, so then we can flip it inside out, or right side out. Now that we got that sewn together, we are just going to flip it right side out. What I'm going to do is pull all of the ends straight so it's a nice and good hem. And then I'm gonna take my iron and iron the whole entire edge so it doesn't look like this. Instead it'll look something more cleaner like that. Then all the seam or the little patch that we left open, we do need to fold this in and finish it with a top stitch. And just like that, we got our final product, a custom tapestry bucket hat. Let me know what you guys think down below. This is super cool. Just some leftover scraps, turned it into a bucket hat. Let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure to comment down below what you guys want to see next. Make sure to subscribe, join the family, turn on that post bell notification so you can be notified every single time that I post. As always, stay positive, and I'll be back for more videos. Bye.
Get out your feelings and get it yourself. Might got the sun shoes, but you ain't gonna step. This shit that you just put out, you could